He's a solid, I'm guessing 3 pounds, 3.5. The key is to be quiet, stealth. Oh boy, trying to keep him out. Look at the dorsal fin.
Canadian Sport Fishing is brought to you by Rapala Premium Fishing Gear, crafted from experience. Yamaha on the water. This is my Yamaha. What kind of Yamaha are you? Dickies, a legend in work since 1922. Lucky Strike. More fish fight with a Lucky Strike.
I'm excited about this week's show because I'm going to be showing you some shallow water techniques that you use around thick stuff, vegetation, cattail, reeds to catch trophy largemouth bass. Now you can see here we've got a main lake shoreline with some cottages, and that's pretty well all open water. You can see some of the nice sailboats that are moored up and some of the large cruising ships. But if you look in here, look, it's a whole new world. We've got a real marsh habitat, very shallow swampy water, almost as far as you can see. No homes because it's too wet. And a lot of water that's underneath 3 feet in depth. And all I'm doing here is, I'm being a vacuum cleaner. I'm going along and I'm starting off with a little lizard. That's what I've got in my hand right here. When you see the action of this thing in the water, you'll see why I'm using it. Also, it's a very natural color because we've got very clear water conditions. Let me just put it in the water here. Tell me if you can see that little living thing. If I drop it, does that look alive? Look, it's got 4 legs, a little twister tail, a black bullet sinker at the front. Is that realistic looking or what? I see him too. Come on. Got him. This is amazing, you know. My strategy here is to go around the boat, trying to keep him out. He's not a monster, but you know what? He's a solid, I'm guessing 3 pounds, 3.5. I don't know if I can lift him up with this line. Most guys would be using flipping sticks. Okay, from there up. Most guys would be using flipping sticks, but I've chosen to go with the spinning rod. And this is the R-type. Isn't that a nice largemouth? What I love is how vibrant green they are. Look at, even his belly's green. He's like a gold color. Normally they've got white bellies. And you'll notice that those black bars that are normally on a largemouth side aren't as pronounced. That's because they take on the color of their surroundings, and everything is green here, different shades of green. This guy's hooked just nicely. And you know what? He came up once, right when I was pulling the lizard out of the water, and I missed him. I dropped it back down because I didn't make any noise with the electric, and he hit it. Isn't that a nice largemouth? A nice chunky fish. That's about a 17-inch fish. He's going to go about 3 pounds, maybe even a little bit more, because he's so nice and plump. All these fish are heavy. Look at that. Yeah, I'll put him near the cattail so you can appreciate the color. This looks like a shot for a magazine. Look at him, this clear water. Where did he go? Right back underneath. Now, I said most people use a flipping stick to do this kind of fishing, and I've got a flipping stick right here. And the flipping sticks are good because they're very stiff. They're almost like a pool cue. And most flipping sticks are collapsible. So instead of being 2-piece, you can see right here, I'm going to just twist it. This part is collapsible because they're anywhere from 7 to 7.5 feet in length. This one is 7.5 feet. So when you're storing it, you would put it down to the first guide. When you're using it, it's almost like a telescopic rod. You would pull it out and you'd hold it there. Now, if you can see here from the specs, this is designed to be used for pretty heavy line, and it is a rod specifically made for flipping. And it's part of the specific technique series, TS2. And I've got that bait casting reel on here, the Avantis, and this is loaded with 30-pound titanium braid. And then what I've done at the bottom, for about a foot, I've actually have 20 or 30-pound fluorocarbon leader. So I've got a very nice connection there, and then a loose knot. I don't know if you can see that knot. If I pivot it, see that there's a loop there? It's a loop knot. And I've done that so that flipping jig can pivot around. So this flipping jig is great on this rod, but it's designed to penetrate some of the heavier cover. This particular rod here, which looks like a normal spinning rod, is actually part of the R-type series. You can see that right on the side. And it's rated for pretty heavy line. This is a 7-foot 1-inch rod, and it's rated for 8 to 17 pound test line. And the R-type is the most serious series, and it's one piece. So this rod actually has a lot of backbone in it, and I have 20-pound titanium braid with about a 20-pound fluorocarbon leader and then a 1/4 ounce weight with that lizard on there. So a lot of times you can use the existing stuff that you have and even fish out of a little aluminum boat. You don't have to have a boat with an electric, even though the electric really helps. The key is to be quiet, stealth.
Dickey's Sport Fishing Sweepstakes.
I was with my Uncle Nick's boat, and I was at the back. All of a sudden, there was like a big jolt on line, and I kept on reeling in and like trying to pull it, getting it hooked to the boat. Uncle Nick, thank you very much for taking me out in your boat and letting me fish with you.
We'd love to hear your fishing story. Go to our website and enter the Dickey's Sport Fishing Sweepstakes. It's free, and you could win some great prizes.